Absolutely, yes.
If a court sets it aside, can the speaker say
the representation? Let me explain.
Okay.
With the law, the representation of the people law says that it is the primary election legislating in Ghana. Apart from the Constitution. The Constitution contains the broad strokes of the laws, but we have acts of parliament that now give flesh and provide the mechanism for how those broad strokes have to be operated. So after we passed the Constitution, we did the Constitution, we have the Representation of the People Act. It's actually a PNDC law, but it is now deemed by the work of the Law Reform Commission, Justice VCRC Crab, deemed an act of parliament. And it is not one of the, not even by the work of VCRC Crab, but by virtue of the operations of laws of this country, that law is not, as it were, lost. It's not taken away. So in that law, in sections 19 and 20, it is very clear that if there is a dispute about a parliamentary election, the forum is the High Court. And the High Court has power to do a number of things, to cancel the results and determine that someone else who was said not to have been elected has been elected once proper evidence is adduced. So, in fact, you may be gazetted, but if there was an order of the court, like an injunction, so you don't even have to have had the gazette, set aside, so to speak. Once there's an injunction restraining the person so gazetted from holding themselves up as the MP elected so gazetted and from being admitted into parliament and being sworn in to become a member of parliament and participate in the proceedings. If there is an order of the court by way of an injunctive order, the speaker is bound to respect that order. In that regard, that person shall not be sworn in.
Okay, so there are some circumstances under which the speaker can indeed say you are not allowed to be sworn in based on this or that particular indication.
A court order.
Now, yes, I want another clarity. The invitation that has to be extended to the person by the clerk, would it be at the instance of the Speaker of Parliament?
So, because there will be a vacuum, the clerk is the one whose tenure does not expire. So the clerk is the one who continues to operate. And the Constitution is clear about that it is the clerk that will summon Parliament. Yes. Whatever the circumstance is, I think it is plain enough, and we should not allow any voodoo interpretation of the law to suggest that the Speaker has powers that the Speaker does not have.
And even,
I was saying,
you proceeded on the presumption that
where a certain argument may be made is the kind of argument that is presently being made to suggest that the EC's declarations or recollections that are being recollated, the collations that are being recollated and redeclared, they may take the power from Article 297, particularly 22.1, which Article 297, which talks about that where a power has been given to you to perform a certain act, which act is an administrative act, then that power includes the power to effect a correction or an omission. so that you can perform that job well and perform that job to its conclusion or satisfaction. So, but I have my argument about that. I'm sure the public knows that I don't see some of these things as corrections, mere matters of errors that are being corrected. That's where, in some of the circumstances, I'd say the EC's power fails to exist. Administrative power to correct fails to exist. Once there is a collation and there is a declaration that has been so made, it does not have the power to recollate and redeclare in the name of having made an error. But if this kind of provision is being stretched to suggest that the Speaker could also say, I have been given the power to swear in members of Parliament. So if I find that somebody is being called a member of Parliament by way of error, then therefore I can correct it administratively and allow the proper person that I feel has been elected to do so. That's where I say that will also be absurd. The Speaker does not have any such power administratively to make any correction if he wanted to call a gazetted MP an error of a gazette.
Right. Samson,